This is one of those games that get stuck between two consoles. You know the ones, those overlooked gems that can sometimes represent the apex of development on their respective console, but because that console's successor is either already out or just on the horizon, they go overlooked by gamers already jumping into the next gen. And in 1997, like clockwork, gamers were way too preoccupied with their 3D magic machines to realize they were missing the last moments of the superior 16-bit era. They should have cherished it. They should have played Kirby's Dream Land 3D. Now, that's not to say this game was some 16-bit Kirby masterpiece. That distinction belongs to Superstar. But for what it was, Dream Land 3 deserved more fanfare than 1997 was interested in giving. It was the Super Nintendo's last first-party release, the parting rays of a once glowing and now setting 16-bit sun, and to mark the end of a golden age for Nintendo. But, listen, let's be honest. Most of this game's poetry is based on retrospect and its place in history. As for the game itself, the actual experience of Kirby's Dream Land 3, gamers weren't missing anything they hadn't already played before. Maybe that's the reason they were so eager for something new. I mean, if I could go back, I would have savored every fleeting moment of the 16-bit era, and the flaws of a game like this would have been inconsequential. And then again, if I happened to bump into past Derek, he'd probably be like, come on, dude, it's not even that great. And you're destroying the space-time continuum. Dream Land 3 came a year after Superstar, a game that obviously refreshed the standard Kirby template. And that's only an issue because, in comparison, that meant this one was destined to feel old even back then. It basically preserves the gameplay from Dream Land 2 and adds a few minor additions. A part of this game's appeal is its familiarity, but that's also one of its drawbacks. In fact, I think the dynamic between Superstar and Dream Land 3 is a lot like the dynamic between the Wii's Epic Yarn and Return to Dreamland. Two Kirby games break ground and try new things that ultimately push the series forward, but they're followed by two traditional games that kind of pull things back. And again, that doesn't mean Dream Land 3 is a bad game. Not at all. And this is the classic Kirby gameplay that made his Game Boy platformers some of the best on the system. Kirby can inhale bad guys to absorb their abilities, as usual, but those abilities change when he's riding an animal. So electric enemies give Kirby this shock power, but if you pair that ability with the owl, well, it turns into a badass lightning storm. So a major part of the appeal is just tinkering with those abilities and finding new combinations. And that's partly because the levels are pretty simple even for Kirby standards, so otherwise, this is a platformer that's simple to a fault. But I think, above all else, it's just fun to play this game. It's a fantastic reminder of all the reasons the 16-bit era is so lionized among gamers. The charm, the color, the timeless sprites that are somehow more appealing than graphics a fraction their age. But at the same time, it's also a sign that things were getting a bit stale. Kirby's Dream Land 3 shows it.